She's in the chat. She's in the chat, but the camera hasn't turned back on since before you went upstairs. There you go. Did I hit it?
There we go.
You got it from here?
Yay, okay. Thank you.
See ya.
Love you, buddy.
See you guys. You guys. See you, guy. See you.
Hey, guy.
Whatever.
Good. Right on. Glad you could join us this evening.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while.
Heck yeah.
I'm Olivia from King of Foxes. This is episode 108 of the Sit Down podcast.
Check out our friends at Muse Canada. They are a network of people in the creative industry. So if you are a musician and you need album artwork, there are graphic designers in the network. If you need a music video done, there are also videographers. Or if you are working on a video that needs music, there are musicians in the network as well. We are part of the network as well. So we can help distribute vinyl records, for example, but we are also a member with our podcast. So if you go to the website muse-canada.ca and you use the discount code FunkyMoose2021, you will get a discount on your membership.
Perfect. Right on.
You're a natural.
So I'm pretty sure you saw the episodes with Brendan, so you kind of get the idea of what it is we're doing.
Yeah, we're sitting down, we're chatting.
You betcha. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us this week. I had the pleasure right out of the gate. I'm going, I had the pleasure
So I have a sticker right next to our camera, really big, says,
Yeah.
As a reminder to me, but now he's saying,
Frick, I say that so much, man.
Maybe you need a sticker that says something other than so that you're not causing yourself to say
Right. Well, we had one idea a while back. We had like the kids got Nerf guns. Right. So I think there's like one episode, Mark and I were sitting there with Nerf guns and we were going to like shoot each other every time we did it. I don't think any shots were fired that episode though.
There were, but not because of
that. And then that never stuck. We never did that again, but
yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing? I heard from a little birdie that you had COVID.
Oh yeah. I had a fun weekend. I'm like feeling pretty grateful that I had as many vaccines as I did because it would have been really horrible without those. But luckily I was better in time to go back to work on Monday, you know? So I just spent the weekend having COVID and feeling much better now.
Right on. Do you know like where you got it from or does it even
I don't
matter?
know. I mean, you don't know. Like, I think I went out socially for like the first time in 2 years. I like went and had a piece of pizza and I'm like, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. And I mean, maybe I got it there, but I also could have gotten it anywhere else at the grocery store or whatever. But yeah, so I'm feeling, kind of maybe better that I had it now. I can just something that I've done and hopefully I don't get it again. So have you guys had it?
Luckily not I.
Not that I know of.
That's what. Good. Glad.
I had a cold and I tested a few times and I wasn't positive. So
yeah, the last few weeks there, you're better now, but not last week, but the 2 weeks before that, you were pretty stuffed up.
Yeah. That was a sinus infection. And
Well, it's been nice, like not being sick at all for the past 2 years, honestly, because like I'm a delicate flower. I seem to get every cold that comes through, and especially like when we were out touring and like I don't know, you're just like in bars and absorbing germs everywhere, and it's like as a singer, obviously, it's like the worst when you're like, oh no, a tickle in my throat. So it's been really nice not getting sick. I think I'm gonna keep up this masking thing in places that I don't care about. Like I don't care if people at the grocery store see me in a mask going forward. Like whatever, I'll stay healthier.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I'm going to do the same thing. I was telling Mark, I don't remember if it was on air or off, but I was like, that's kind of a shame that I have these nice podcast masks and now I don't, I don't get the pleasure of wearing them. So I'm just going to wear them anyway.
Wear them for fashion, just rock it.
Yeah, I'm walking billboard for sure.
Fashionista.
Yeah. Congratulations on the singles that you've been releasing lately. They're freaking awesome. Hell yeah. Way to
so
go.
much. That means a lot. You guys know your stuff. I appreciate that.
This is the only thing he prepared for.
Yeah. No, well,
I just mean those kind words mean a lot because I know that you listen to a ton of music. So thank you.
No, it's, you know what? It really put me in a good mood. So the way I prep for shows is I'll listen to the artist the day of, right? So today I was listening to King of Foxes pretty much all day, and I was in a great mood all day. Like just the vibe I was getting, and yeah, I hate telling people how I felt and stuff because I don't mean any disrespect at all. I don't know how it'll come off, but what it kind of brought me back to like 90s. Like Janelle agrees with me on this, so she's got my back on this, but I kind of got a vibe of like 90s, not teeny bop movies, but like the songs felt like they could be in a soundtrack to like Clueless or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's kind of.
You take that as a compliment.
You told me that.
Josie and the Pussycats. Someone was like, it reminds me of that movie.
Yeah, like
you told me that before we started. I'm like, maybe.
You didn't get that?
No.
Have you ever seen Clueless?
No.
No. Yeah.
But I mean, 90s teeny bop that doesn't.
Well, I don't know if like teeny bop's not what I'm trying to say, but it was like,
aren't you?
Like those chick flick kind of vibe.
Because you
things.
watched
Sex
all of
in the
those.
City maybe would be another one. You know, I can see
Happy
them.
International Women's Day, everybody. Chick flick vibe.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, you betcha.
But actually, that Josie and the Pussycats album, though, that was one of the writers of that was the guy from Fountains of Wayne, right? Who is a huge idol of mine. Fountains of Wayne is an amazing band, so I think there's some synergies there for sure.
Right. Yeah, no, I was in a great mood all freaking day. I loved it.
Awesome.
And I'll be honest, I never really listened to much of King of Foxes up until today. I listened to the one track that came out maybe a month ago. I gotta look up the name of it. I'm bad with names.
I could probably jog your memory. I probably remember which one it was.
Yeah, what was so far,
like? Doomed to Repeat came out just in February, and before that, oh shoot, now I'm forgetting. 7 years. It was 7 years.
That's the one. So that was like the first one where I kind of started to go into a dive of King of Foxes. Doomed to Repeat, though, that song slaps. The chorus in that song is like, it's so catchy, it's energetic, the positivity. I just, even though the song's doomed to repeat, like your past and stuff like that, I get it, but it's got a positive ring to it. I did you hear it?
No, but I keep thinking you did a music video. This must have been last year or 2 years ago in a bowling alley, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, for Backsliders.
Okay.
You were getting nervous there?
Yeah, that's
like,
off my
holy
chest.
Shit, was I listening to the wrong thing?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a terrible bowler too, so I took a lot of takes to like get that fake strike going.
The behind the scenes part there. It's all real, man. It's all real.
Yeah. Sure.
No, it was yeah, no, I love the music for sure. I saw on your Instagram as well that there's going to be a new single released every, is it 22 days or something?
6 weeks, whatever that works out to. Yeah, I just decided, like, rather than, it seems these days you put out an album, people will like maybe listen to one song from it. So I'm like, well, I'm going to feed you the album bit by bit. So I'm doing a single every 6 weeks, and then the full thing is coming out in September. Heck
yeah. Are you going to have like a record release party, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully do a tour, come back to Saskatchewan. It's been about a year. So yeah, going to go back there and do a little mini tour. We're actually planning a tour to Japan this summer as well too. So.
Oh my God. Tell me about that. How does that come about?
Well, it came about through my partner, Brandon, actually, his project. We'd sort of been developing that market for both bands a little bit, just doing some export programs with our music industry associations and whatnot. And so he was able to go, he's planning to go there through some tour money we had through Factor. And so luckily we all share the same band members, and we thought, well, this is a great opportunity. We can actually do two bands in one. So it's kind of like a shuffle the musicians around on stage situation, and you get two bands out of one. So really looking forward to that. So, you know, COVID willing, hopefully things are open and good by the summer. But yeah, that's the plan.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So why Japan?
Well, we've been there before once, just like traveling for fun, and we loved it. And we were like, well, we could play to bars in Edmonton for nobody, or we could go to Japan and play in bars for nobody. Let's go to Japan.
Yes.
I like it.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
And I think a lot of bands should do that. Like if you can get factor money, some grant money, why not go somewhere you've never been before?
Right.
It doesn't have to be Japan.
I mean, it's not totally a shot in the dark. Like there are good reasons to go there too. Like just in terms of the live music market, they really still buy CDs over there, and it's a nice market to develop. And people love going to live shows, and we have some contacts out there. So yeah, there were other reasons too. But
right.
Yeah.
Right. So how is that to book the shows out there? Do you do that all on your own, or does like Factor kind of help you with that part of it?
They just help with writing the checks. Thankfully, very grateful to Factor, but we have an agent that we're working with who's on the ground booking shows there for us, so we don't have to. I wouldn't know where to start emailing people over there, so it's nice.
Yeah, yeah. That was like, how many people do you know out in Japan?
I know like one, maybe two.
No, that's awesome. I did get to see you. Well, the last time we saw you, we got to hang out a little bit too. That was after you played with Brendan's band, and we hung out after the basement there.
That's right,
that was awesome too.
That was
and I am gonna say this on air. I told Mark I wasn't sure if I was going to. So, but no disrespect to Electric Religious at all. But I think I like King of Foxes better. So like, no disrespect.
Don't watch this episode. We'll just we'll hide this episode from him. It's okay.
I'm messing with you, Brendan. I love you.
Yeah. Oh, how was the episode?
Yeah, you might not want to watch it.
You wouldn't like it. It's not interesting.
Don't watch it. No.
No, it was so good. So good. Janelle and I, we were playing it pretty loud today, having a good time.
Awesome.
I was in meetings all day today, so I listened to the 2 songs that you sent at 6:00 or 5:30, whatever it was.
Yeah, I sent the videos to Mark that you sent me. I just forwarded it to him. I was like, check out these videos before we air tonight, because that's what's going in this episode. So actually, we are that'll be a nice little segue into this video right here. Check it out.
So Laundry List is a song off my album Salt and Honey, which was our previous one to come out in 2019. And yeah, again, I don't know, all these International Women's Day themes coming up today. Laundry List. I think I wrote that song just sort of about the growing list you get as you grow older of sort of like all the things that you need to fix and all the things that are wrong. And it just sort of seems like everything in your life kind of snowballs and becomes bigger and bigger. And where do you start tackling that? Like, how do you get in? So that was my cry to the universe with Laundry List.
Right on. Yeah, I freaking love that. Can you name the other people in the band that we just got to see?
Sure. So in that video, Luke Brightonator is on drums, Reed Teal's on bass, Brandon Baker is on guitar, Audrey Young is on backup vocals, and I'm there as well. And I have sort of a rotating cast of players that play with me, so every show is a little bit different, but usually Brandon is in the band. He's my partner as well. Right on.
And so, then
Audrey, I have a feeling I've seen her before.
Aubrey, she plays with a band called Funkophilia.
This episode is brought to you by Inspired Vapor Company. It is a father-son organization that helps people get rid of darts. So if you're a smoker and you want to transition into vaping, which is healthier than smoking, check out inspiredvaporcompany.com and use promo code, what did we say?
Moose10.
Moose10
for 10% off, you guys. Sweet. I recognized the guitars in that video too, for sure. You guys got a shit ton of guitars. How many between the two of you?
Well,
this is our retirement savings plan, I think. Either that or we're not going to be able to retire, but we can maybe build a little shack out of guitars or something if it gets that bad. I think actually this guitar is the one I'm playing in the video. This is my 73 Deluxe Tele reissue. But I recently bought the non-reissue version of this guitar, which is super exciting. That was kind of my dream guitar. It's upstairs because I'm playing it more at the moment. But yeah, so I don't know. We love guitars. Instruments inspire us. I always find, different guitars bring out different things in you. So it's always kind of fun to have new toys to play with from time to time.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Every time I freaking talk to you guys have a new guitar.
And the plan is always like, we're going to sell something else. It's okay. Well, we'll buy this one, but we'll sell something. But then that doesn't end up happening. So
right.
That's what happens with records and audio equipment in general. Movies, yeah. Oh, you bought another one? Which one are you selling? Yeah.
One of the 5 copies of The Crow that I have, maybe. Jeez.
What if you had 5 DVD players? You might want to watch them all at the same time. You never. Well,
that's. You know what? On that note, I can kind of relate, like, from a movie side of it, because yes, I've got multiple copies of that movie, but like one's a DVD, one's a Blu-ray, one's a 4K, one is like has the first and second movies together on a disc, right? And then one's got like all 4 of them on another disc. So
I have that with my A Night at the Opera. No, A Day at the Races, Queen.
Really?
I have 5,
like different releases of it, kind of thing.
I have 5 copies. One is the Canadian pressing, one is the UK pressing, then there's the Japanese pressing, then there is another. I don't even know. But I have another.
Yeah, so that's kind of the same thing with the guitar you were talking about. You're like, yeah, I got the new release of it upstairs that I just bought.
The old release the
old one. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Not the crappy, reissue that's been made 1,000 times.
Yeah. But seriously though, how many do you guys have?
Sorry. You're awesome.
I still love you. You're great.
But yeah, how many do you guys have? Like, for real though?
Well, there are 7 in the shot for sure.
There are 7 in the shot, yeah. And then it's Brandon keeps saying we need more guitar hooks upstairs because we are running out of places to put them. It's not that bad. We've got the 7 down here and maybe like 3 upstairs. It's not that bad. We have it under control.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm just thinking addiction.
And then there's the ukuleles and the pianos and the every other instrument that's lying around too, a bass or 2.
I love that. So how long have you been playing music for?
since I was about 5. I actually have a classical background. I did classical violin for probably 15 years. I played piano. I did lessons, played in youth orchestra and all that. But then when I was about 17, I think I got my first electric guitar and just taught myself, just sort of translated what I knew from the violin to the guitar, which makes me sort of a weird guitar player. Brandon's always saying, whatever you're doing, it's very like unguitaristic. It's not the way guitar players normally play. But in a way, it's sort of like I feel like I can stumble on things, because I'm not, I didn't really have like a classical or traditional background on guitar. It was just sort of by ear. Yeah, but I've always been musical. It's always been a huge part of my life, and I love guitars. I love guitar.
Heck yeah.
So when you say you're classically trained, let's call it that, what made you decide I want an electric guitar and play other kind of music?
Probably, just to spite my parents in some ways. I don't want to play classical violin. I want to be a rock and roller. No, I mean, like I always loved like rock music and pop music, and but that was just sort of my lessons and everything that I did in my family life. My dad is a classical saxophonist, so there was definitely going to be some music education, some formal education for me. Yeah.
Right on.
Who are your musical influences when it comes to what you play now?
Oh gosh, well, it's all over the place. I mean, I'm such a sponge for music. Like I grew up in the 90s, so obviously there is a lot of that sort of like, I guess, sort of grungy influence in some of what I do. But there's a lot of sort of pop influence to it as well. I grew up listening to like Liz Phair and even like I was looking through my old CD collection the other day, like Ben Folds 5. Like I still have a crate of CDs and I have no CD player to play them in anymore. And it's sort of sad. I need to like actually revisit that. Everything's digital and I have a Tidal subscription, but there was something about like having those physical CDs. And I used to have like a little CD rack with like 15 slots in it. And those where you could only like 15 artists because that's all you had room for.
Right.
Michael Jackson had 2 slots and
yeah.
Oh yes. Oh man, I listened to so much Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Growing up.
Did you have a poster?
I did not. I definitely
did.
had a t-shirt and I had, I'm trying to think, I had Bad.
I had the Bad poster.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first cassettes that I listened to was Bad. But into the CDs, I had like Dangerous, I had History, had a copy of Bad. Those might have been the only 3 that I had.
Yeah, I had one tape, I think, too, and a CD. On my wall, though, I had a giant poster from the movie Speed. Remember, like Keanu Reeves, that I somehow like begged the movie store to give me because I was in love with Keanu Reeves. It was like the size of my entire house. This face of Keanu Reeves. I wonder whatever happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Whatever happened to all them posters? What did you have hanging in your bedroom? Probably like NASCAR shit.
No. Well, not NASCAR.
Girls?
Good question.
Happy Women's Day.
No,
You're allowed to like women on Women's Day. That's okay. You can have a poster of us.
Yeah. Well, today is the only day you can like women.
Right. Yeah.
No. I remember my Michael Jackson poster, and I had a Senna poster, which is Formula One, not NASCAR.
Yeah.
I
don't remember.
Do you?
Yeah, I had a Blue Jays poster back in when they won. Was that like 92 or 93?
Don't ask me.
When they won baseball. Was that the World? It's not the World Series. What the hell is that called? Is it World Series in baseball?
Yeah.
But it was Roberto Alomar and Joe Carter. I had that poster. And I had a Crow poster for sure of Brandon Lee. I had Jenny McCarthy, Pamela Lee, Farrah Fawcett, I think I had.
Classic room. Classic.
Yeah, right. It doesn't vibe at all. And those are the only ones I remember off the top of my head. That's
so
all I
you
remember.
had Keanu Reeves, but who else was on your walls?
Ooh, To be honest, I can't remember either. I feel like I had a pretty girly room at the time. I think I had I was like a super big tomboy growing up. Like when I was a lot younger, like I had like a mushroom cut and I like Ninja Turtles, and like my mom like made me get my ears pierced so people would know I was a girl at the time. But then at a certain time, I sort of went the other direction, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have like roses in my bedroom, and I'm gonna really do this teenage girl thing right. You know, I'm gonna really try and fit in here. And I don't know, I sort of ended up somewhere in between.
Nice. Sweet.
Still trying to think what was on my wall.
Yeah. Let that go.
No, I'm going to ask my mom.
It'll come to you at the end.
A few years ago, a friend and I put on this really fun event where we like found all these people to read from their teenage diaries, like in public at a bar. It was one of the funnest events I've ever done. Like you get and try to get like some like local celebrities to do it too. And it's just like gut wrenching laughter to see how seriously you took yourselves back then. And yeah, it's a really great time.
Do you have a diary growing up?
I did. Yes, I had. I wrote in it every day. Every day I made myself write one page, and they're just awful, awful entries about the stupidest things.
Oh my God. Do you still have that diary?
I actually do have a crate of a bunch of stuff like that. It is so embarrassing.
Oh, I was going to say you should go get it and read us a page.
Next time. Yeah, we'll have to have like an episode dedicated to musicians reading from their childhood diaries.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
I like it. That could be a segment of the show.
Yeah, you can only come on a show if you read a page out of your diary.
Love it.
Yeah. That's a good idea for sure.
I didn't write. I shouldn't say that. I tried to. I think I wrote maybe 3 pages out of my whole life. I didn't.
Well, that's
Did
a good
you write
start.
a diary?
Not too late. You can still
Yeah, I didn't write much. I didn't even read very much. I'm trying to get back into reading a little bit. Not that I read a lot previously, but I have read like autobiographies of musicians and movie stars and stuff like that. So I do have a book at home that I started. I'm only like maybe 6 pages in right now, and it's freaking hilarious. But I gotta push myself to like sit down there and actually take it and read. You know, I'm always on my phone.
It's
I would
tougher
much
as you
sooner.
get older. Yeah, I know. I was an avid reader when I was younger. I did a master's degree in English, so I did a ton of reading. But I just found like personally, like when I had a kid, like all my spare time, was taken up with kid stuff. So it's really tough to carve out time to be like, put my phone away and just read a book. But I found like I really like books these days that have like short essays or like that allow me to just kind of get it in small chunks. And it's like, okay, I can complete a small essay. I don't need to read a whole novel. But like David Sedaris or something is hilarious, and you can just like laugh your butt off and then you're done it in 5 minutes,
Right. Yeah.
For me, it's the other way around. I never read. I hated reading, and now I'm reading books.
Nice.
What are you currently reading?
Master Your Mindset by Michael Pilarczyk.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a Dutch book, but it's
Is it in Dutch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Is it teaching you how to master your mindset?
pretty much. Yep.
Give me a tip.
It's not.
What can I learn?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm interviewing you now. I don't know.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So this book is about. He used to be a radio DJ on national radio, and he became, kind of famous in Holland. And as he grew, he started a media company and became a millionaire. Then he lost all of his money in the stock market, so he had to build everything from scratch again. Then he became a millionaire again, but then he got screwed by a company that bought his company, and he was out of money again. He wasn't completely broke, I believe, but and that's when he was like, okay, I got to change my life because this is eating me up inside. I'm not even, 40 yet, and I'm already burnt out. So, and then he started on this journey where he, digs deep into himself, into his soul, I guess. And then he is kind of translating whatever he learned throughout that whole process. He's close to his 60s now, I think. 50 something. And he's kind of explaining how he went through all of that and how he turned his mindset, into, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're not happy with yourself, then
right,
money doesn't matter.
So is that what you've taken from that book so far?
Well, I'm
that
only
like happiness is on the inside.
A third into the book, but there's a cool analogy in there. I find that there's a nun at a well, and she's hauling water with a bucket out of that well. And then as she was doing that, there's a couple of people walking by, and they ask her like, well, why do you want to live this lifestyle, and why in solitary, and why, so quiet? And then the nun goes like, well, look into the well. And they go like, well, okay, why? Well, just look. So they look down, they see water, but she just pulled water out of that well, so the water's all waves and stuff, and you can't see anything. And they're like, well, I see water. Well, exactly, okay. And then time goes by a little bit, and then she goes, okay, now look again. And they're like, well, that's weird. Well, okay, I'll look. And then they look into the well, and then, oh yeah, we can see ourselves now. Okay. And then time goes by a little bit more, and then they look into the well again, and then they can see the bottom of the well. So that's why if you have a quiet mind, a calm inside, you can see further down into yourself, and it's easier to make sense of things when you have a calm head.
That's very true. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to read that book.
You can't.
Because it's in Dutch?
It's in Dutch.
Yeah. Do you know any other languages besides English?
Yeah, I speak French. I grew up doing French immersion, although I'm a little bit rusty. And I got to pull out my Japanese phrase book soon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't speak much Japanese, but yeah, French growing up.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, me too. It's funny, the first, I want to say 6 years of my life, I actually lived in the house that I'm currently living in now. And then we moved out when I was about 6 years old to a different school. And the French that I took in grade 9 in the English school was the same French I took in grade 3 in this town. So I was like, oh my God, like what? So of course, me, deadbeat student, I dropped out of the class that I should have kept for an easy credit. I dropped out because I was like, it's too easy, but
you weren't making very smart choices.
No, I definitely didn't make smart choices. But yeah, so I mean, the French is a little like you. I should be brushing up on it. Living in a French community, I don't speak nearly enough French. I can understand it, no problem. But when I go to speak it, I'm thinking in English first, so then the translation doesn't always come out properly. But I can do it for sure. Yeah.
We have my kid is doing German immersion. We don't speak German either, but the closest school to us just had a German immersion program. And we thought, I don't know, it's just any language is good to learn. It's good for their brains. So he's teaching us German, kind of. He comes home and we have to work on little projects together. So it's the whole family.
Oh, that's amazing. How old is he?
He's going to turn 7 next month.
Nice.
And German is such a tough language to learn.
But apparently it's like, close to English, but it's like English sideways,
Yeah, Germans have a lot of exceptions in their grammar, and it's really annoying.
What can you say something in German for us?
9.
I
could probably say something about a Schultag project, but
sweet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. Okay, we're talking about reading and writing a little bit here. Can you kind of walk me through your writing process when you're creating a song? Like, obviously I'm going to take a stab in the dark here. You find some kind of inspiration, like your Laundy List, for example, or something, right? And then do you lead with like lyrics, or do you go into like melodies, or can you just walk me through it?
Yeah. And, I don't even really know how I write songs anymore, in the sense that I'm trying to challenge what it is that I think I know about songwriting and see if there are other ways in. Like, my brain is really melody based. So definitely, like, I would get like a little just a snippet of something, and that's kind of my way in. And then it's sort of, I start making kind of like vowel noises along with it, and words kind of start to form. And then I sort of have, okay, well, that's a thing. And then maybe I'll make a little voice note of it on my phone and forget about it for a year and then listen through, oh yeah, maybe I could do something with this or that. But, you know, like, I don't know that that's like, it's not a particularly like collaborative approach off the top. Like I'm, with this album that I did, that's coming up in September, it's called Twilight of the Empire. A lot of it was sort of like that process of writing these little snippets and then feeling kind of stuck with them, feeling like I just like don't know what to do from here, like to get inspired to move them forward. So I was chatting with my producer Stu about this, and he said, well, why don't you bring in these snippets and like, you know, let's see if we can just kind of mess around and kind of put some form under them, and it might inspire you to kind of like write the rest. And so this album was a lot more collaborative than my previous ones have been. I think in the past, it was very much just like me in my room coming up with these chords, and this is the song now. Whereas this one, it's actually a lot of co-writes with Stu. So it's a newer way for me to write. And I want to keep exploring those ways to write, because I think you come up with great things when you have more brains involved. And I was a little bit scared to co-write before, or a little bit resistant to it. But I think it's a great challenge to kind of keep expanding your horizons that way. So I want to do more of it for sure.
Right.
Cool. I watched Taylor Swift's documentary on Netflix. What's it called? Americana Girl or something, whatever.
Yeah, I know the one.
And she does kind of the same with her producer too. She goes into a room with her producer, and she just mumbles some words and kind of melodies them out, and then all of a sudden you hear a beat in the background. And he's like, and the guy just sits at his computer, and he makes the beats to whatever she's kind of mumbling at that point. And then it's like, I mean, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan or anything, but that process, just to see how it
unfolds,
evolves, and turns into a song, that's pretty cool to watch.
That's funny. The guy from the band Blur, I think, kind of caught some flack recently on Twitter because he was like making fun specifically of Taylor Swift for co-writing. He's like, co-writing doesn't count, you know. And so says the guy who's like, chorus was woohoos, you know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You know, it totally counts. It's just a different way of doing it. I'm definitely still very precious about my lyrics. Like everything I write, lyrically, I need to sort of be micromanagey about. But some of the songs, like on the album, for example, I would come in with a chorus, like Doomed to Repeat. That's actually a great example. I had that chorus sitting around in my back pocket for like a couple of years. Like I remember writing that melody just like on the couch. I think I was like a new mom at the time. And I had to like, the house was like so noisy, and I just sort of had this moment where I'm like, I just want to sing as loud as I can, and I'm just gonna like, so I was just like singing that chorus to myself, kind of writing it on the couch. And I think the baby was also making a ton of noise, and Brandon was making noise. And so anyway, I had that in my phone, that memo, for 2 years, and I brought it to Stu, and he's like, well, how about this chord progression for the chorus? And then it just like, or sorry, not chorus, verse. And it just opened the rest of the song up. I'm like, thank you. Now I can write over top of that. So it just kind of helped me bridge it together. For
sure. So this is the production. So Stu did the production of this album. Now,
yeah, I've worked with him actually on all 3 records. He's been my producer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at. Is this the first time that you worked with him, or who did it on the last ones?
First time I've written with him, but 3rd album that he's produced. Yeah.
Nice. So is he doing like the mixing and stuff like that as well as?
Yeah,
production?
we were a 2-person shop for this album. Like every instrument on there is played by one of us. He plays the drums and the bass. We do all the guitar parts together. Like we decided to double everything to give it that really kind of thicker, big sound. So every guitar part you hear is both me and Stu playing on this record. And yeah, all the mixing and mastering was done by him as well. So it's very, very small crew.
Right on. Yeah. Right on. Shout out to Stu.
Stu Kirkwood. He's the man.
So how is that when you've got the song recorded in the studio like that, and then you're taking it to the other members, and you're like if you're going to do a live show and then having to get them to learn it, is it just like, here's the track, listen to it, get it down, and we're going to go play it? Or is there like, do you guys get together as a group and then you rehearse it a few times, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, luckily, like I work with some really great session people that are able to just take the recording and I say, okay, learn this, and they can do an amazing job. But then we rehearse to like make the show more than just us playing the song note for note. So like, how can we make it an experience? I really want to have a show that matters, that means something to people, that is better than them just kind of sitting at home listening to the record. So that's really kind of what we work on when we get together in person.
Heck yeah. And as a fan of music, I love and thank you for doing that too, because if I just wanted to play the record, I would just stay home and play the record.
Yeah.
When I go to see a live show, I'm not going there to just hear the record. I'm going there to be entertained, right? Like that's the whole point of it. That's what I spent my money for. That's why I got a babysitter. That's why I'm going out. It's a night out for me, you know? Yeah. So thank you for that.
Well, don't thank me too soon. I still feel a little like rusty getting back into it. It's been such a weird couple of years of stops and starts that you kind of feel like you lose that sense of momentum too. Like when you go on a tour or something and it's like your shows at the end, you're just so tight and you're so on fire and you can like, you're just way better, you know, but when you're not playing very often, it feels a little bit like the audience, like, how do I relate to you again? What do I say?
Right. I think just truth and honesty. Right?
I mean, I think everyone in that room understands that you haven't been on a stage in a while. And
you think? Or are they all just like, this is my night out. This is why I got a sitter.
Yeah, you better be, I'm here to party. You better be good.
Maybe.
Well, if you're that person, you're a dick and you shouldn't go.
I think for the most part, our fans are pretty nice people and they're pretty supportive.
Yeah.
Right. For sure. I have to look up the title of the other song that you sent me here. Or do you remember what it was?
I do. The one that we're going to play?
Yes.
No, just let him look it up.
Why don't we just let the camera roll while you go on your phone there for a minute and pull it up? No, it's called Ever After. And this is a song off my very first record. That album was called Golden Armor, came out in 2016. And Ever After is the last song on the record.
Right on. Here it is.
Tell you what you ought to know.
Okay, so both those, did you record both of those videos like the same night? Obviously you did, right?
Yeah, we did. It was part of the Alberta Spotlight, what do you call it? Event, or not event. It was like a virtual concert series that was put on over COVID. It was sponsored by the government of Alberta and the National Music Centre and Alberta Music. So they gave out little micro grants for folks to film live performance videos to be shared on their website. So yeah, we got a chance to. We did it, actually we recorded it at MacEwan University because they have really an amazing sounding studio room there. And we just kind of wanted it to feel intimate. And also we had to be cognizant of keeping ourselves apart too. So you'll notice that, like, I'm in a vocal booth, somebody else is in the other vocal booth, everyone is spread out. So that was all COVID related too. We couldn't really do a traditional performance where we're all, you know, breathing in each other's faces as we are wont to do.
Right. That turned out really, really well.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Thank you.
And it sounded so good too.
I listened to it on my phone, so I mean, I'm sure it sounded great, but it came from my phone.
Like a phone, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that looked like you guys had a lot of fun doing that, for sure. I'm really trying to not talk about Brandon.
You're so dreamy though. It's so hard.
Well, okay, so I have to just ask, because otherwise I'm going to be thinking about it the whole time. If I don't just let it out, it's going to be, I should have asked that.
Truth and honesty, man. Truth and honesty. Let's do it.
For sure. So we all know, well, Mark and I know, I'm not sure about you listeners out there, but Olivia and Brendan, you guys are married, you've got your child together, and you're both musicians in your own bands, but you play together as well. So what I'm curious about is, like, we were talking earlier about like that creative process, and you did talk about like micromanaging some of it, you know, and it's hard to like work with other people. Having a relationship with another musician and working together, can you, like, that's gotta, I just see how that can be difficult, and I want to give you guys props for being able to pull it off. And I understand how it, as any relationship, it can get hard sometimes, but has there ever been, like, do you guys take notes from each other? Or is it kind of like that micromanaging, and it's like, no, this is my thing, stay out of it. You know, I'll get you when I need a guitar. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, to be honest, like, first and foremost, I have to give Brandon props for being like the most supportive partner in that sense. Like, he is my number one fan, and he never lets me forget that, and that goes a long way, you know. So no matter what kind of criticism there is, or sort of us trying to help each other, at the end of the day, like, I know that like nobody is my musical champion more than he is. He loves my music, and vice versa. So that like makes a good foundation. That said, there are times when you know, I found like with this record that I did with Stu, I made a conscious choice, like, not to involve Brandon on the kind of creative side of this, because I just kind of like needed space to do things my own way in this record. And he totally gets that too. So he'll let me do that. And then I'll be like, okay, like, here are the parts, you can learn them and play them. And he plays in the live band. But like, you know, we're always really involved in each other's songwriting pretty much all the time anyway, even if it's not necessarily credited in every song. Yeah. You know, we're always working on parts together. Like, I'll come up with a little melody, and I'll be, grab a guitar, like, help me out with this for a second. You know, we're always going back and forth like that. And I love that about our relationship. You know, it can be 12:30 in the morning and we're doing little voice memos, smoking a joint and coming up with the hits. Yeah. It's, you know, there's a lot of good times for sure. And I think just knowing that you have the support of that person, both musically and in your personal life, it's awesome. I love it.
Hell yeah. No, props to you guys for sure. Yeah. to do that, because you don't see a lot of it working out. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at bigger artists, I guess, that end up together or married, like, it never lasts. It doesn't last.
Well, that's showbiz though.
Right, but that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
They're entertainers, they're on stage, they're performing, they're writing, they're creating, they're doing the same thing.
But they don't have paparazzi.
I suppose, like, that as much of a spotlight.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Not yet.
Paparazzi.
Not yet.
We don't have as much paparazzi on.
Yeah, I was.
Hell yeah. got me creeping on your Instagram. Hey, you know what I noticed? King of Foxes has 2 YouTube channels. How come?
What? I do? I shouldn't.
You do.
No.
You definitely
you know
do.
what? I think one is just the automatic, like when you use the digital distributor, like DistroKid or whatever, they put all your songs up on YouTube, but it's like as a topic or whatever, but it's not your official channel. So my handle is at King of Foxes Band on all platforms, and that's where you'll find like the music videos and stuff. But you might find audio King of Foxes on the like distro.
That's right. Yes, because one of them is just audio.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other one, so the one with just audio has the Doomed to Repeat cover.
Yeah.
As the profile picture. And then the other one is like a picture of you guys at a pub or something. Yeah. All right. Well, that answers my question for sure. Because I was like, why is there 2? I couldn't figure that out.
Why are there 2?
Is that how you release your music? Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, independent artists are somewhat limited in our ways. You've got like CD Baby or DistroKid or various digital distributors that you can have access to. So yeah, we use those. I kind of have my own little sort of fledgling record label, but it's really just like me and Brandon's records, and we'll do like other little projects, more just like label services for other artists, just kind of helping them do stuff, because I love helping people when I can with whatever modest knowledge of the industry I have. So yeah, it's
I love that. I was actually, you know, truth again, is I've been trying to look up a little bit of information about sync licensing. So I kind of got down this little bit of a rabbit hole in it, but basically hit a wall because I'm not a musician. I don't have any music or anything like that to license to get out there, but I'm very curious on that process. Are you familiar with it at all?
As far as sync licensing, you know, usually you've got like music supervisors that you pitch things to. They might want you to write to spec if you have a relationship with one. They're looking for a certain thing, and they might have musicians that they reach out to do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a ton of in-depth knowledge, but those are the basics. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But what was your question, Joel? Like, did you have a?
Well, you know, I really just want the Cliff Notes version of it. So like, if I'm an artist who's got, you know, maybe an EP or 2 out there, an indie artist who has some music out, and I'm looking to like get some sync licensing on it so that I could submit it to potentially be in a commercial or a movie or a TV show or something, like, where do I go? Who do I talk to about that?
Yeah, so I mean, that's the $1 million question. Like, music is so much about the relationships of like who you know and who you can meet and who can help open those doors. And it's tough, you know, sort of in Western Canada too. Like, we don't necessarily, like, there aren't music supervisors that live where we live. So a lot of that work happens in Toronto or sometimes in Vancouver. But, you know, a great way to like connect with those type of people too, if you connect with like your provincial music industry association, like they'll have contacts. They might be able to suggest people you can connect with. They'll put on conferences or workshops where you have chances to meet people like that too. And so you can at least, you know, put a face to a name with them. And then when you email them sometime, maybe they won't ignore you because they remember having met you at a certain mixer or, you know,
right,
introduced to you.
And that's kind of exactly that wall that I've hit, because I did happen to find some names of people in the industry that I could potentially talk to. They were referred to me by some friends, you know, oh, maybe like talk to this guy they might know. And then, like I said, I'm not an artist, so I'm just hitting a wall, like no replies. Well, I really don't want to go sit in a freaking.
But what is your question to them?
Yeah, what are you pitching them? Like, what?
Yeah, hey, you want to give me a call? No, I'm not going to give you a call.
Well, specifically, I think the emails were very short and sweet, which could be another reason I wasn't getting an answer. But it was like, you know, I mentioned that I wasn't an artist. Like, I led with that. I'm not a musician, but we have mutual friends in the industry of indie musicians, and I was referred to you by so-and-so. And my question is from another mutual friend, if I wanted to get some sync licensing, like what steps do I need to do? And could you like steer us in the right direction for that? Something on the lines of that is kind of what the email said. Like, hey, we both know this person who told me to reach out to you, who we both know this person who is interested in some sync licensing. Can you steer us in the right direction?
If it were me, why doesn't that other person just email me directly instead of going through you?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think having like a really clear ask in any email, like what are you asking me for in this interaction, is always helpful.
Yeah.
Or if it if it relates to a specific artist, like has that artist asked you to reach out on their behalf to get a certain result, and like, you know, is there like links to their music, like here's what they have. And I always find short and sweet is good, but like having the ask really clear and just like having everything in one place so that they can easily click and kind of hear that music. No attachments. Oh my God. When I had COVID this weekend, I spent some of that time trying to go through my Gmail and like delete all the old emails with huge attachments that I don't need so I can actually like send emails again. It just gets out of control. It was like, you know, some friend that sent me like a 10 megabyte PDF of their cat back in 2005. Like, I don't need that in my life anymore.
That happened to me too. So we use what's called Zoho Mail, as you would have noticed when I emailed you. And I'm really bad for, I thought if I filed everything, I would be okay, but I'm constantly like running out of space on there. So the last couple of weeks, I've been deleting a significant amount of files too.
Feels good. Very zen.
It scares me. It scares me. So
why?
Because I'm worried that I might need it later. But like you said, just save it if I think I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
So now I got all this crap saved on my computer that I'll probably never need or use.
A problem for future Joel to deal with.
Yeah, right? About planning my problems for the future.
I delete so many emails, especially from companies from, all over the world, but let's say India.
Right.
That want to offer their web design services.
Yeah. It's like, do you realize who you're emailing right now?
Do you know what I do for a living?
I always know it's going to be a useless email when they address it, Dear King, you know, because they think. So I can delete Dear King emails.
Yeah. Dear Sir, Madam. Nope. Delete.
That's right. So for all you listeners, if you want to get a hold of Olivia, just don't put Dear King at the top.
Make it Dear Queen instead.
There you go. Dear Queen.
International Women's Day.
I'll reply.
Nice. How about those, like when you post something on Insta or social media, and then the comments right away is like promoted on here, promoted on here.
Yeah,
it's like,
spam.
Get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah.
I can't help myself. I always reply. I'm like, no, you promote it. Or like, I don't know. I have to waste my own time chatting with bots. Clearly I need a life.
Yeah, because they reply back. Hey? Get in an argument with a computer.
Man, it's so nice to not have social media on my phone.
Tell me about it. Did you just delete it? Did you just take the plunge? And well, good for you.
Yeah. Just hit delete.
How do you know if people like you at any given moment? Like, how do you know that people like you right now?
Do I care?
It must be so liberating.
Yeah.
He still has it on his computer.
Yeah.
That he sits at for like 12 hours a day.
Yeah. So I don't need notifications on my phone and on my computer.
Yeah.
I read a funny tweet the other day. It's like, I've decided, you know, I really need to take a break. So I'm just letting you guys know from now on, I'm only going to spend 1 hour offline a day.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I should do something like that. Even an hour a day would make a big difference. I can't, like, it's been getting worse. Like, I can't even set my phone down for an hour. Like, I'll go a little crazy. Unless I'm like in the zone on something specific, a task at hand that needs to get done, I can do that. But even to just sit down and watch a show or something, like I'm playing a game on my phone at the same time. Right?
Well, you're playing a game, or is it
sometimes
social media?
Both. Like I'll freaking.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll cast a movie, let's say from Netflix to the TV from my phone, but then I'll exit out of it on my phone and I'll be scrolling like Instagram as the movie's playing, or I'll like something. I know.
So funny. Like, how much stimulus do we need? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm literally like watching something right now, but it's not enough. I also have to watch something else. I'm really trying to put around some ground rules for us at home, just in terms of like, you know, I don't know, like we are in front of each other right now. Like, this is a time when we don't need something to distract each other because we have something to focus on, you know? So I'm just kind of like, no phones while we're at the table. Like, that's obvious. Like, but like maybe like no phones like in the bedroom. I'm trying that out. Maybe no phones while we're like making dinner. Like, let's have like pockets of time where we're just like truly with each other, you know?
Right. I think that's very, very healthy, and I should highly consider, or do more than consider it. I should really do that as well. Like you said, pockets of time. I'm not
succeeding at it, but I'm saying that I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Because I started noticing that, you know, you're waiting for something, even if it's the microwave or whatever. You have 20 seconds. What do? You grab your phone and you scroll doomless, or you're doom scrolling Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And it's like, you don't need to. And then the microwave beeps, but you're still scrolling. So, oh, well, just hang on.
And it keeps beeping.
Yeah, fuck. Okay.
What are you waiting for? Like, what are you looking for that's going to be like, oh, great, now I have what I need.
Exactly.
I can return to my life. Yeah. But it's hard lately with everything that's going on in the news too. Like, I find like I do like check the news a lot because I literally want to know like what horrible thing is happening to the world right now. Because it does matter, like, to stay engaged. But yeah, where do you draw the line between staying engaged in the world and like finding some space to not
live in the world?
And for the news, I usually go on Twitter in the morning. I find relevant news articles and whatever about whatever is happening in Russia and Ukraine. But then I'm done. I don't need to see it the rest of the day, because that is just depressing.
Yeah. See, I'm a little bit of the opposite of that. All the like important issues, I guess, of today's world, I try to avoid those. Like, I avoid anything that has to do with like the convoy. I avoid anything that has to do with like COVID. I avoid anything that has to do with the war. Like, I don't want to see any of that stuff. And it's not that I don't care. It's just, it's all negative shit. Yep. And I don't want that negativity reflecting on me and throughout the day. So I try and look at sillier things. I follow a lot of comedians, and I'm just looking at like where they're playing and their stupid little videos that they put on there, and something to make me chuckle. And then so that's kind of how I go about my day.
Yeah. No, like I said, it's just so I'm up to date on what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go in rabbit holes anymore, and that just drags you down.
Yeah, for sure. No, I like that. Definitely put my phone away. I'm bad at like when we upload a video.
Delete Instagram.
Oh, I don't think I could do that. When I upload a video,
yeah,
for sure.
Sorry, are we boring you?
No. When do you do this? When King of Foxes puts something out, how long does it take before you're checking to see how many people have like viewed it?
I don't know. Like, well, today was an interesting one too, because I was really busy at work. Like, I work for a nonprofit that works in gender-based violence prevention and intervention. And so International Women's Day is a big one for us. So I was really busy at work, and I posted early in the morning today about a show announcement that we had coming out in August. We're opening for Bare Naked Ladies, Sam Roberts, and 5440 at a festival. It was a huge show announcement today. And then like I didn't look at my phone for like hours and hours and hours, and it was just like, like I couldn't even, there was like, too much. So I think in general though, like I don't really need, like I don't need to see the likes roll in, but I want to talk to people about things. So it's nice to be able to reply to people's comments, in real time, and interact with fans, right?
Yes, I love that too. If I'm going through like stories or something, for example, and there'll be like a little poll or whatever, I always try and like respond to those. The worst is like when you go through your stories and it's got like over 100 views. If you put a poll out there and like only 2 people replied, it's like, what are you doing, man? I see you scrolling through there.
Social media should be social, right? That is the best part of it. It's like, and I've made some like amazing like friendships with strangers over the years who've like reached out on social media for whatever reason, music related things, and you just kind of stay in touch. And in fact, one of the members in my live band now, that's how we met. Like he and Brandon were sort of like following each other on Instagram, and then they only discovered like through a video that he posted, he's like, isn't that in my city? Like, do you live in my city? And then they became friends. It was so cute. Now he plays in our band. So
that stuff is cool. Like that's what it's for, in my opinion.
One of my clients came through Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It's so what I don't like about stories is that people post those stories with the knowledge that it's going to disappear within or after 24 hours. So it can't be really important what you put there if you want to keep it on the long term. So if they don't find it important, why should I scroll endlessly through those stories to see what they have to say? If it's important, you create a post out of it, because then more people see it longer.
And yeah, to the flip side, is that like everything in the internet these days, it's so permanent. You know what I mean? Like you can't have a thought without it becoming like a monument to everything. Like a tweet becomes, you know. So there is there's something sexy about that impermanence of stories, that it is just like life, that like time continues on. And
yeah. Like if you didn't catch it here, you didn't catch it. You missed it.
Yeah. It must have not been important then. You know, I don't know. I was big into social media, but yeah.
I love Instagram.
Apparently now you have to be a TikTok star to be like, that's what you need in the music industry. And I just feel like, damn it, like you told me to be good at Facebook and Instagram, so I did that, and now it's changed, and now I'm too old to change with it.
Right? I'm on the same page as you. Like I'm like, fuck TikTok. Like I'm not interested in it at all.
You know, are we just like, we're just being rigid for no reason? And I know that like to have a healthy brain, we should continue to like be flexible, and you know, so I'm sure there's stuff there. You know what I don't like about TikTok though, and this is just, I hate noise. I hate sound. Like I hate that it has to have the sound on, and that's what I like about Instagram, is that it's like quiet and I can just look at it. I don't have to like blast myself with sound all the time.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with TikTok at all. Like Justine Giles, she'll send me some silly TikToks every now and again. I'll look at those, but I don't have an account or anything like that. But she sent me a funny one the other day. It was like, I forget who it was, but somebody in Moose Jaw. And did you see that? Because I think I shared it on my stories, so you probably didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't see it then. But there's a guy in Moose Jaw, and he's like standing at the end of the street, and there's a sign that says no left turns. But right beside it, there's a sign that says only left turns. So it's that was the TikTok. He's just like, well, which one is it? Only in Moose Jaw here. Like, do you want us to turn left, or do we not turn left here? It's pretty funny.
Is that Leroy and Leroy?
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah. I know Leroy and Leroy.
Are they big TikTok stars or what?
They are.
They are?
They started on Instagram, I think, but they
moved to TikTok.
Yeah.
I think I only have like 2 videos on TikTok, and one of them I was having fun with that like voice modulation kind of app that they have. Like you can sing into it and it makes you sound like a man or whatever. And it turns out I actually sound great as a man. So fun tip for you vinyl lovers. Take my record. It's a 45, but actually if you play it at the wrong speed, like I sound like a man singing, and I have a great voice as a man. And I think I'm considering doing an entire album as a man. So yeah, I think
as a man?
I kind of sound like
on International Women's Day
or something. That's like the vibe of my man.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's very cool. So you've got a 45?
Yeah.
How many?
I should have had one behind me here for the.
So not the 45 7-inches, but it's
at 45 RPM.
But it's a 12-inch on 45, right? Yeah.
How many songs are on it?
Like the Northern Royals one.
It's the entire Salt and Honey album plus a bonus track. So 7 songs. Yeah. It was more of an EP when it was released originally on CD, and then I added a bonus track for the vinyl.
Hell yeah. And where can people find that? Like if they wanted to purchase one?
Yeah, on kingoffoxesband.com. I have all my stuff on there.
Oh, freaking rights. You know what? I'm probably going to get one. Can I get mine autographed?
Of course.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm not even joking. I want one of those for sure.
I would love to send you one.
Maybe we should help you sell them here on the store.
Could do that too.
Do that? Is that a thing that you do?
That's what we do. That is what we do. We sell records.
Yeah. Awesome.
For those of you listening too, like Mark and I were not just good looks here.
No.
There's an actual Funky Moose Records is a store. I don't know if you guys, we're not just a podcast. Somebody actually said that to me like last week. They were like, so what is Funky Moose Records? Because is it just the podcast? And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm lucky that you weren't there, because I was like, no, like it's an online record store.
Oh.
The podcast is just another leg of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They couldn't gather from the podcast of all those records in the background what it was.
Yeah. What are these things? Decoration.
Too funny.
Yeah.
What else can we talk about? So actually, let's talk about you opening for Bare Naked Ladies. What the hell?
You just casually mentioned that as if it was.
I didn't see that post. I seriously didn't.
that must have been the 1 minute you weren't on social media today. You missed the hugest thing.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? I'll be honest with you. So I know Funky Moose Records follows you, but I don't think I follow you personally.
Well, let's rectify that.
I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked to be part of the lineup. It's at a festival called Together Again in Edmonton, and they do a really awesome job of, they've got like tables. Like last year they did everything so everyone could be socially distanced, but Together Again was kind of the vibe. And yeah, they've got 3 nights of bands, and I'm on the Sunday with, Bare Naked Ladies and Sam Roberts, 5440, Molly's Reach. It's like a dream lineup. High school me would be just freaking out. I'm still freaking out.
And what's the date of that? Sorry.
August 21st. Tickets go on sale March 11th. Yeah.
Oh. Amazing. And those tickets
cool.
will be available on your website too, right?
Yeah, I'll put a link everywhere where links can be put.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we've got a pretty exciting summer coming up. Like we've got a few other festival dates. And actually, it's not really summer, but we're playing at Winterruption Festival in Edmonton at the beginning of April. That got rescheduled. It was supposed to be in January when winter really is, but everything sort of got COVID canceled. So that got pushed to April, but I'm really looking forward to that, Winterruption. And a few other things kind of popping up here as things start to open up. So it's exciting.
No doubt. Cool. My God. I want you to know that I guess today was solidified it that you definitely have a fan in me. I consider you a friend as well, but I want you to know that I'm for sure ride or die fan. Like I had such a great day today listening to your music that I don't know. There's not much more to say about that. It's just if you guys want something out there to put you in a good vibe, even good driving music, like shit, man, I could totally rock that out in the vehicle. Like
you could drive to Edmonton with that music.
I could totally drive to a King of Foxes concert playing that the whole way there. 100% without a doubt.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
So next time you're in Saskatchewan with King of Foxes, we need to know.
Yes, absolutely. Please, you'll be the first people I will email, tweet, and everything at the same time at you.
Yeah, email works best for me because social media on my phone.
Man, I can't wait to see you guys live, and I want to wish you guys a safe trip to Japan. That's going to be a blast. I'll be watching.
When is that? When are you going?
In end of June, or beginning of July-ish. We're just nailing up the dates. Okay. Yeah.
So cool. Maybe, yeah. Post pictures everywhere you can because I want to see those.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So before I let you go here, if you can just let the people know, like, where can we find you? Where's the places you want to direct everybody to?
Absolutely. So you can find me on every social platform at King of Foxes Band. kingoffoxesband.com is my website. Come visit. Come say hi. Don't be shy.
Heck yeah. Is it okay if we end with Doomed to Repeat?
Absolutely.
All right. Enjoy, you guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Right on. I recognize that handsome guitar player for sure.
Yeah. How can you?
Too bad he's taken.
You guys with your beards, you all
right?
get along.